Good day, Ruskin enjoyers. I hope you're alright, 'cause it's time for the Profit Review. Last week we discussed the Halloween Week 2 2024 Rustore, and that means today we're here to discuss Halloween Week 3. So sit back, relax. I'm going to start yapping. Now, before I do, understand some of you might be new to this, you don't fully understand what the focus of the video is, so I'll quickly explain. Basically, with every Rustore that we see, I will return to it 4 weeks later, just to see how everything turned out. Did everything match up to our expectations? And if not, I have to sit here and explain why. Now, of course, with every Rustore, I'm always considering what potentially would be a very nice investment. So, was I correct, or was I not? You can hold me accountable. Right then, so what was my initial reaction when I first saw this Rustore? Well, quite a big surprise. Was not expecting 3 weeks of Halloween. Never had that before in a single year, but 2024, 3 weeks of Halloween Rustores. Alright, fair enough. But by default, Halloween skins, been over this the past 2 weeks now. By default, Halloween skins aren't exactly the best of investments. Unfortunately, they go out of season very quickly, and people don't care about Halloween that much. Compared to Christmas, very noticeable. But surely with a decent barter we could still potentially make some decent profits? Well, yeah, maybe. But there was a very interesting thing that happened with this Rustore. Just to quickly give you some context, this Rustore rotated very early. It happened like 4 o'clock in the afternoon London time. What's so special about this then? Well, it turns out a certain skin wasn't supposed to be added. But for 20 minutes it was in the Rustore. And only 85 individual people bought that Undead Sheepman Adore. But then it was removed. Why? We don't know all the details. I will showcase a video in a minute which talked about the whole thing back then. But in short, it was probably one of the newest, rarest skins in the game. How much was it worth? How much interest did it actually have? How many people were fully aware that that was technically probably one of the newest, rarest skins in the game? Well, we had 7 days to figure out how we might want to approach it. We had 7 days to consider what was going to happen to it. So, alright, that's a very interesting, strange story that happened with this Rustore. But what about the actual investments? Like, what was looking to be quite appealing? Well, by default, another Sheepman or Double Door for Halloween. We just had one the previous week. Well, now we have another one. And when I first looked at it, I thought, well, that one certainly isn't super gimmicky towards Halloween like the previous one. If you can recall, the, was it the Dark Magic Library one? It had like pumpkins and cobwebs and books, spooky things. This one just looked cool with all the bones and whatnot. Alright, so maybe that could work out quite alright. At that specific point when this Rustore appeared, Sheepmen and Double Doors were doing perfectly fine. I still thought it was going to go down in price, but I still looked at it as if, yeah, that's probably the best thing to put some decent barders on. Alright, cool. We also saw another continuation for Epic's collection, if you could go ahead and see this. We have many storages. Easter, Halloween, Christmas for 2023, and up to this point, Easter, Halloween. Now, this when this was accepted, this actually spiked in demand. It went from $1 to $2. Okay. And what do you reckon is going to happen in this upcoming December? Anyway, so that's nice to see, but was it going to be a nice investment? And then we had some burlap clothing. Now, quite a rare sight to see. We don't really get that much burlap accepted, but up to this point, we had like 3-4 sets, including Twitch drops and whatnot. But a balaclava, what? Well, I think we got like 15 of these that exist. Oh, 24. Well, I was a bit off, but point was, still there. We really don't get that many balaclava skins accepted anymore. So would that work out well? Do people want to dress up as a clown? I honestly thought a lot of casual players would probably enjoy it. Now remember, you don't have to have the balaclava. You could put on whatever mask you wanted, so I could see the appeal. But was it going to work out all right? Were we ever going to see any more burlap clothing being accepted anytime soon? At the time, I thought, you know what? I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll talk more about that a little bit later. Ghost Halloween got its 4th skin accepted in a row. Yes, over the past 4 Halloweens, we've had many weapons accepted, and, well, that definitely stuck with it. So, all right, cool. But was it actually going to be all right as an investment? And then an interesting looking yellowy brown sort of mummy AK-47. There were some the comparisons to the Desert Raiders AK-47. Slime Monster Tier 2 looked pretty interesting. It was a collection continuation to the Slime Monster collection, but didn't look as if it's going to be like nice camouflage. Too bright and has purple on it. Another zombie themed furnace. Well, okay then. And an interesting glow-in-the-dark sleeping bag. So overall, it was a Halloween Rustore. Cool. So, look at all these skins. What was potentially the best investment for the week? Well, by default, you'd probably think it would be the Undead Sheepman Adore. Congratulations if you're one of the people that bought that. Feel free to comment below if you were. But I was looking at all of these skins, and I thought Death's Gate Sheepman Double Door was probably the best bet. So as we hop over to here, on the day, I remembered, well, the previous week, the Dark Magic Library sheet metal door was still holding up quite nicely. I was still expecting it to go down in price though. So, of course, with that being abnormal, we could still approach it, still put down a decent buy order. I thought it was probably the safest option. Now, looking at the other things I was suggesting, I thought Nightmare Clown seemed to be pretty okay. I thought it was in a pretty interesting spot. 99 cents each. I wasn't expecting a ton of sales to happen, so I was thinking, well, I just can't help but assume a lot of people would like it for casual wear. Don't you want to dress up as a clown, just to make yourself feel nice and comfortable? But honestly, it really did feel like people would appreciate it as time goes on. I could question how much it was going to sell, but I just really didn't think there was going to be that much competition anytime soon. So, alright, that's what I was thinking at that time. And then looking at the other things I was suggesting, well, Slime Monster Tier 2, by default, we were expecting more continuations in the future, but that's in the future, quite literally another year to go, next Halloween, because we weren't going to be seeing any more Halloween skins for a very long time, were we? But by default, I would have looked at it and I would have said, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes all the way down to maybe about 40 cents. Pick them up at that price. And if we do see Slime Monster Tier 3 or Hoodie and Pants being produced next year, should work out quite all right. But yes, I did expect it to drop off pretty hard. We've talked about this over the past 2 weeks with other clothing and armour pieces with Halloween themes. So, all right, cool. Understood. Now, looking at the other skins, I was considering that maybe the spooky neon large box would work out okay. At that specific point, the small box had been bought out. And, throughout the years with the small boxes, they did a very good job of retaining most of their value. Still went down a price, but weren't too bad. Now, the Halloween small box did go down pretty hard, but it was also the one that sold the most out of all the small boxes. So, would the large box at least work out nicely? Again, smart buy order would be the way to go, so okay. And then when I just considered everything else, I just really didn't have that much faith in the remaining deplorables. I just thought, nah. The L96, I didn't really have that much faith in either. It really wasn't looking super appealing, the rest of the skins. Unfortunately, that was the case. So, alright then. We've made our points in regards to interesting skins. Now let's talk more about what happened with the Undead Sheep in the door. So I hop over to here. I have this video right here, Undead Door Situation, new rarest rust skin. So we've never got confirmation as to why it was removed. Some people did bring up that apparently the design of the door looked very similar to some designs for Hearthstone cards. Again, don't know all the details. We do not know the confirmed reason, but I have seen the cards and it did look very similar. Now, I spoke to one of the skin creators and they did say that there was a good influence there. Perhaps maybe too much. Again, no confirmed reason as to why. But the real thing is, why was it in the rust door then? Like, wouldn't they have potentially figured that out, like, beforehand? I get the feeling they forgot to remove it. And then they realised 20 minutes in the fall, oh no, and then they removed it and just didn't say anything. So, hey, potentially one of the newest, rarest skins to be added into the game, but what would it be worth? I had no idea. Like, you got to understand, I do talk about rust skins a lot, but I never really buy the super expensive skins. I just want to get that across. I had a lot of people kind of approach me saying, oh, hey, you're going to buy it, you're going to buy it? No, I'm good. But I did know a few people that did buy the skin. Now, I will talk more about, what happened next, but it is valuable. It is valuable, but it doesn't seem it has that much demand, so we'll talk more about that in a bit. Right then, so we've talked enough in regards to that, and if you want to get like all the context in regards to what happened on that day, feel free to go ahead and watch that video right there. But I need to, keep going. I need to talk about the progress. So what we need to do now is showcase this, the first 24 hours of sales. So Deathsgate Sheep Door, Double Door, yes, that did 7,600 subscribers. The Spooky Neon Large Box did 7,000 subscribers. Nothing compared to the Undead Sheep Door, though, that only did 85. Shut up, you. Anyway, so I didn't actually get all the skins here. We did have the return of the Halloween items, so they were kind of in the way. But in short, after 2 Halloween rush doors already, you shouldn't be surprised that people weren't exactly super enthusiastic to keep wanting to buy Halloween skins, especially knowing that literally when this rush door, the day after this rush door, it wasn't Halloween anymore. We still had the Halloween update in game until the November Force Wipe, but yeah, just wasn't that that much momentum or enthusiasm to buy. All right, fair enough. But hey, maybe that could help these skins out as nice potential investments. Right then, let's now talk about the skins on the day we did the abnormals. All right, so as you can see here, we've got a decent amount of sales across the board. Many of them kind of just below 15,000 subscribers, as you can see. Some of them really did sell hardly anything. Of course, that one as well. But point made, it really didn't have that much interest. So when I looked at all the abnormal skins, I was making my considerations, and here's how I approached them. So with the Deathscape Sheepman a Double Door, at $3, it looked really cool. It wasn't super gimmicky towards Halloween. I thought about it, I questioned it, and I thought, you know what? I'll do $1.50 to $2.50. I thought at the very least it would retain its value quite nicely, but I could still see it probably dip down a fair bit, maybe about 20%, maybe up to about 30%. So, okay, $2.50 should be okay, but what I'd normally do is I'd do my first buy order, look and see how everything is when I'm about to do my second buy order, then do the second buy order. Sometimes you realise, well, it doesn't look like anybody's going close to the suggested price I did for the second buy order. Maybe I'll just play it a little bit lower as well. So just want to point that out. You can see that when I do my abnormal buy orders. Right then, with the next skin, the Spooky Neon Large Box, at $2, I thought, nah, I can see that going down in price. I can see it probably dropping off pretty hard. It definitely didn't sell as much as the small box, and the small box did still spike in price. But yeah, I thought 70 cents to 90 cents. At that specific point, we did have a lot of large box skins being accepted for 2024. And then when I talked about the tomb storage box, that would be the small box right here, didn't really have that much faith in it. I thought maybe it's just a little bit too gimmicky for Halloween. So I looked at it and thought, you know what, I'm just going to offer 70 cents to 90 cents. There is the Neon Ghost Sheepman Door. That right there, straightforward neon design, glow in the dark. It was totally fine, but what, we've had 3 Sheepman Doors now, technically 4, for Halloween this year. Yeah, I suggested 50 cents. Wasn't going anywhere near it. I really didn't think it was going to hold up its value quite nicely. Looking at the other skins, there was the Frankenbag. Now, Frankenbag, if we could just go back about 10 seconds again, you probably didn't notice it, but it only had 6,400 subscribers. That was really low, 6,600, sorry, just to clarify. So that was one of the lowest selling sleeping bags in all of this year. Yes, it was gimmicky to Halloween, it was Frankenstein, but surely it could still work out quite nicely in the future. I did question it, and I thought, you know what? It was a $2 skin. I went with 80 cents to $1.20. I was curious, but I didn't want to go all in, so all right, fair enough. Now, with the Undead Sheepman a Door, yes, I did suggest a price. This is more of a joke, but with how I approached it, I did a $50 buy order and a $100 buy order. Now, I'm not being serious with this, but that is what I offered. So let's just get that out of the way. Let's also talk about the skins that weren't abnormal. So Nightmare Clown, I kind of separated these. Nightmare Clown Balaclava. It was nice. It did sell quite well. There was interest, but I only wanted to offer 50 cents. I didn't think it was going to work out amazingly. The full set, I could see working out probably, but the balaclava was the least important piece. All right, fair enough. Now, with the burlap shirt and pants, I suggested 75 cents to 85 cents. I didn't want to go ahead and straight up buy these. I honestly thought I could just do some buy orders. So that's how I approached them. Cool. The Ghost L96, Ghost Halloween L96. Perfectly fine skin, but L96's skins don't really hold up very well. 60 cents to 80 cents. With the Slime Monster Tier 2, all the pieces 30 to 40 cents. Fully expected them to drop off hard. They will most likely reach their low point around Easter time. That usually is what happens. But if we do see those continuations appearing for next Halloween, well, they're going to rise up. Also, if they get accepted, just to clarify. The Mummy AK-47, perfectly fine looking AK, but I just really didn't think it was going to hold up. 60 cents to 80 cents. And then we have the Necro Furnace. We already had a zombie furnace. I really didn't have that much faith in it, so I suggested 60 cents. So, yeah, that's basically how it rolled out. So let's talk about what happened next. So let's go back over to here and let's discuss the whole situation with all of these skins. Let's first talk about the Undead Sheepman a Door. Right then, so this right here did manage to have a few sales. Now, it was a bit odd with what happened initially, so let's just go through all of this. Initially, a few sales did happen for a few $100s. Yes, I'm not joking. Someone actually decided to sell theirs for about $1,000, and then 2 of them sold probably to the highest bidder at the time at $400. But then, someone we know in my community, I guess you could say, who watches me regularly, they decided to list theirs at maximum money. It sold. And then they went and bought 2 Steam Decks for Christmas. So, hey! Now, since then, it's kind of sold a fair bit less to maximum money. And then it happened again quite recently. it's not. It's weird to talk about because, like, I do think it's probably worth between $1,500 to $2,000. But is anyone actively wanting to sell? The only sales I've seen are people with like buy orders. I'm pretty sure the vast majority of the sales have been people who own it selling to the highest buy order. Now, the awkward thing is there's a maximum amount of Steam Wallet that you can have on here. I'm aware, if I could just go over to here, there is actually one listing on Skinport for about $3,000. Hey, if you want it, go for that. But I'm pretty sure it's probably hard stuck at around $1,500 to $2,000. Now, at the end of the day, I don't think everyone is fully aware of this skin, but there is still a decent amount of people that actively do want this. And of course, as you can see here, the highest barter is $1,500. Yeah, that's all that can be said. So, do you own one? Feel free to comment below. Did you buy one? Feel free to comment below. I think it's fine for what it is, but I'm certainly not paying that amount. Now, if I recall, I do believe at least one person sold theirs for $7. Yes, I do believe that did happen. We did have photographic evidence of it. But yeah, so there you go. It did sell for quite a high price. But I think like the, what's that other door? What's it called? The, cool, I can't even remember it. Metal door or something? The one with the tree metal door? I do believe that's worth a lot more, but it has some notoriety behind it. Also, I do think it did sell less overall, but hey, it is what it is. That's still rare and very special. So, all right then, cool. That happened. Now let's talk about all these other skins. So, the Deathscape Sheet Metal Double Door, it did go down in price. It went down to $2. Now, if I can recall, the reason why I made such a fuss to talk about sometimes I change my price is because I did change my price when I was approaching this. Initially, I suggested going all the way up to about $2.50, but I noticed other people weren't really going that strong in it, so I went down a little bit less. Yes, I have bought a bunch of these for about was it like $2.20? But as you can see, it hasn't gone below $2. Now, I don't think it's going to go down any lower. Just to repeat myself, it is a very cool looking design. Now, let's also just take a real quick look at all the sheet metal double doors, because you might notice that they're still holding up quite all right. It might take a while for that to load up, but let's sort of just quickly go over the details in regards to November was really, really good. November was really, really good. So this happened quite a fair bit earlier, but, well, I mean, it was quite literally early in the day, because as it rolled over as I was recording the video from last night, yeah, that almost did 96,000 average player count for November. And of course, we're now rolling into December. We're going to have a December force wipe, and of course a Christmas update, and of course at the end of the month we're also going to have time off. So December's lining up very nicely. Could we see all skins in general improving ever so nicely? Well, let's also just take a quick look at all the sheet metal double doors. The only skins that came out this year that are struggling, unfortunately, are the 2 Halloween skins. Again, you shouldn't be too surprised by this. We're out of season from Halloween. But could they ever improve? Fingers crossed. But take a look at all the sheet metal double doors that exist. Only 4, 5 are down bad. The rest of them, perfectly fine. So hopefully they do recover. But yeah, that did kind of end up around the suggested price, though initially I did say go up to about $2.50. So I will lean more towards Hedge. You were wrong on that one, but I did change and adjust my price on the day, and other people did as well. So, all right, we'll see how that goes, but that's fine for now. Let's talk about this skin right here. It's down by 17%. I suggested 70 cents to 90 cents, but again, I've got to bring this point up to you. I can't help but assume a lot of the skins at the moment are doing quite all right, purely based with the fact that we had a lot of people playing the game at the moment. Once we reach around Easter time, and I did mention this earlier, I fully expect a lot of Halloween skins to really drop off. And unfortunately, most of them very likely will never recover again. To see this holding up still quite all right, quite surprised. Look at the buy orders. They stop at $1. So, okay, with my suggested price of 70 cents to 90 cents, I played it too safe. However, as time progresses over the course of these next 2 months, what happens next? I do believe it will drop off. I'm sorry to say, but I do believe it will happen. But I also do believe we're going to get a spooky, not spooky, we're going to get a Christmas neon large box being produced. Spooky Christmas, I mean, I can't say no to the idea. But anyway. So, yeah, would that spike because of a Christmas large box appearing from the, from the same skin creator? I don't think so, but who knows? We'll see. But to see it not struggling, hey, that's cool. Good job there. But I played it too safe. My price suggestion was too low. So, all right, fair enough. Let's talk about the next skins then, so we can talk about Nightmare Clown. We'll start with the Balaclava specifically, but then we'll talk about the other two skins afterwards. So here we have the Balaclava, and it's sitting here at 60 cents. So my suggested price seems to have been perfectly fine, but as I've just talked about, could it still go lower? Chances are yes. I wouldn't be surprised by that. So it went down in price, and it's just been slowly trending downwards. Now, will it improve with a lot more people potentially playing the game over the course of the next month or so? I mean, I look forward to it. I hope so. But I don't know. Do you want to dress up as a clown? Do you deserve to? Well, all right, fair enough. But yeah, keep an eye on this. And just look at all the barders. Well, there's a very strong barder there at 40 cents. But yeah, just to repeat this, it only did 13,000 subscribers. It really didn't sell too much. And just to see only 51 listings, it could rebound. It could improve. You never know. We might see some more clown-themed skins being produced in 2025, and people might look at these burlap skins and think, yeah, I should buy those as well. Maybe it improves then. We shall see. You never know. It might be some sort of Twitch drop or something that happens. So, all right, cool. I've made my point. Let's talk about the small box. Now, with that, I suggested 70 cents, 90 cents. I'm going to be very straightforward with this. As you can see, the barders, well, the highest barder is sitting around 90 cents. The lowest price is about $1. Yeah, I mean, that was very routine. It seems to be smack dab perfect with the suggestion. Could it still, like, potentially go down? Probably, but at the moment, that seems to be all right. So I do believe my suggested price there was okay. Could still go lower, though, just to point that out. Ghost Halloween L96. Take a quick look at all the L96 skins that we see are in the game right now. Yeah. So I'm sure you can understand why I wasn't feeling super confident with that skin right there. Whilst the Ghost Halloween skins did rise up in price quite a bit when this appeared, and, for Halloween, they went back down again. So as I quickly look over to here, yeah. Now, the SAR's still doing pretty okay. The MP5's still doing pretty okay, but the AK, it's just kind of stayed the same. So, all right, yeah, my suggested price seems to have been perfectly fine. Then we have the actual Nightmare Clown burlap shirt and pants. Oh, no. What went wrong? Well, it just so happens that another burlap shirt and pants were accepted quite recently that kind of took away all the interest that these had. Blackout burlap shirt and pants appeared. They sold absurdly, almost 60,000 subscribers. At the moment, they appear to be retaining their value. That's nice to see, but I also do worry that inevitably it does drop off very hard around Easter time, February, March, April. We'll see what happens. I've already talked about that specifically, but yeah, that appearing definitely caused a lot of people to sell these. Now, I have received a lot of them through buy orders. Let's just go ahead and quickly see how many of them are actually on the Steam market right now, and it's only 27. It's only 27. Highest barter, 51 cents. Lowest listing, 65 cents. I mean, guys, there's really not that much there. And they really didn't sell that much either. So just to reiterate, both of them did about just over 12,000 subscribers. That really isn't that much. And looking at the listings right now, I'm kind of not surprised to see that it's so low. So consider this. As time goes on, will this improve? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Yes, I know I've talked about all the other Halloween skins so far and thought, yeah, that's going to probably go down lower as we approach Easter. I actually think this might actually do pretty okay. Now consider this. How high could it potentially go around January time? How high could it go during the summer of 2025? So keep an eye on this. Maybe you might want to consider picking up a few of these around Easter time, if it does go down in price. But again, really not that many in circulation, and I can't help but assume that Blackout burlap's going to get cheap at some point. I've been talking about that a lot. All right then, so kind of went down in price. My price suggestion suffered, but who would have guessed Blackout burlap was going to be accepted for complete the sets? I'm just saying. Neon Ghost Door. I only suggested 50 cents, but to my surprise, it seems to be still holding up quite all right. Highest barter is about 89 cents right there. Lowest listing is $1.10. How much did it sell? 10,600 subscribers. Okay, fair enough. My suggestion was too low, but I really did not expect a Halloween sheep in the door to do well after having, 2 other sheep in the doors already being accepted for Halloween. So, all right, it held up. How does it behave during Easter time? Well, we'll see. Right then, so closing that. Moving on to talking about the Mummy AK-47. An interesting looking design. I brought it in game. It's got like a strange, very dark blue aim sight. but I just didn't really think it's going to hold up very well. I went with 60 cents to 80 cents. Lo and behold, it's now selling on a Steam market at 87 cents. So my price suggestion was perfectly fine. Let's see if we get some interesting mummy weapon skins produced next Halloween, but that's a year away, so yeah. Oh well, it's unfortunate, but yeah, very straightforward. Slime Monster, yeah, the vest and the coffee can, they've dropped a bit. Actually, coffee can's not too much. Kilt's perfectly fine. That's still at 98 cents. Now, just to repeat, yes, I know it's green. Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if some people think it's nice camouflage. It's not. It really isn't. But hey, at the moment, still holding up quite nicely. Easter time, we shall see. But I am surprised to see it's holding up nicely at the moment. I really am. But let's just look at the buy orders. And yeah, it goes down to about 58 cents there. Huh. So we'll see how that progresses. But I am surprised to see it still holding up. It's really not that bad. It's basically evens and the coffee can, just to show that off again. Maybe people just really like the design. Did you even consider that, Hedge? Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, my price suggestion for those was like 40 cents. So yeah. Necro Furnace, I said, what, 60 cents? Yes, and it's basically sitting here at 77 cents. Yes, that did go down. We had already had a zombie themed furnace like 2 weeks before, and in the past we've had many other like Halloween themed furnaces that just dropped off very hard. Didn't have that much faith in it. Here we are. If you did buy this for about 60 cents, I don't think you're going to be able to sell it for a profit or a worthwhile profit. So, yeah, it is what it is. And then we have the Frankenbag. Now, this was funny. It was like one of the lowest selling sleeping bags at this specific point. If we could just do a very quick comparison to all the sleeping bags in 2024, you will see that, yeah, it did sell the least. If you went and look back to the previous year, even then, it still looks like it was one of the lowest selling ones, yes. So with only 7,000 subscribers, it kind of looked like it might work out a little bit better compared to other sleeping bags. Now, initially, a lot of people who actually were able to list theirs in the Steam market was trying to sell them for about $30. Didn't happen. And as you can see right now, it's gone all the way down to about $1.40. Oh no, they couldn't sell them for $30. But hey, my suggestion of 80 cents to $1.20 seems to be perfectly fine there, and he looks nice. Give it a good look. As you can see, he's got a lovely face. He glows in the dark. I'm sure it could still work out quite nicely, and with like next to no skins in circulation, sort of. It's still a few thousand, but it's really not that much. So keep an eye on this. Only 17 listings on the Steam market at the moment, but we'll see what happens next. And that, my friends, is the last Halloween Rust Off for 2024. Thank you. So yeah, big surprise to even have got 3 weeks of Halloween. But overall, still felt like pretty routine. Now, of course, with certain things, we really couldn't have guessed what was going to happen next, talking specifically about the BURLAP clothing there. But yeah, even with that sheet metal all the way down here, still really didn't know how it was going to progress from there. And then eventually, yeah, it did sell for maximum money. Okay, cool. So, if you did manage to buy any of the skins from here, feel free to comment below. Did things kind of turn out a little bit awkward with certain surprises, or did things just drop off too hard for you, unfortunately? Again, feel free to comment below. Next week, we will discuss the November 4-Swipe Rust Store. Some very interesting picks right there, yes indeed. And yeah, that's something to look forward to for next week. Right then, so thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Hope the video was nice and straightforward for all of you. If you did somehow manage to make some profit, I'd love to hear it. But let's see how all of this lines up around January time. For January, will we actually manage to get over a 100,000 average player count with a peak player count of over 200,000? We shall see. So once again, thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck with you and your investments. Catch you later. Sing goodbye.